and welcome to this episode of Little Sprout Speech TV. Grab your pen and paper because today we are talking about how to train your child, or how to potty train, I should say, your child with autism. And I'm gonna give a little disclaimer. This can be a really long journey, as many of you have discovered discussing this over on our Facebook page. And what I wanna share with you is that it can take quite some time, and I'm not gonna put a time frame on it because every child is different. But what I will tell you is if you stay consistent and you follow your plan and you do it day after day after day after day, even if it feels like nothing is improving, it will improve. So you got to stick to it. Just like anything else, the consistency and the expectation being set is what eventually helps your child reach that goal. So I'm going to give you 3 tips to help with this process and this journey. Tip number 1 is when your child soils their diaper, whether they pee or they poop, okay? And I say poop all the time. It's a conversation that I have regularly because when you work with children, it's inevitable, right? When you have children, poop happens, right? So you'll find that it's a conversation of a topic that I discuss often. Anyways, I digress. When your child soils their diaper, whether it's pee or poop, we want to avoid changing them like they're a baby in a diaper. What do I mean? Take them to the bathroom, tip number 1, okay? So that's tip number 1. Tip number 2 is to avoid laying them down. If it's a boy, stand them up while you change them. If it's a girl, you can either stand them up, or sit them on the toilet while you, clean them up and change them. But the idea is to start getting them into that feeling of what it'll be like when they're standing in front of the potty or sitting on the potty to go, rather than laying them down like we've always done when we cleaned them up when they were younger, when they were a baby in diapers. So the idea here is to help transition that process a little bit more naturally. So that's tip number 2. Tip number 3 is to use a schedule. You guys know I'm huge on schedules. If you follow my page, I love putting things in pictures and attaching words below it because I think that it really drives the message home and helps your child, regardless of whether they're a kid who usually loves pictures or who prefers to read the text. Both are available there, and it takes the stress out of the situation when they can just look at something and see, oh, that's the sequence. First, I'm supposed to do this, pull down my pants. Second, sit on the potty. Third, go pee or poop. 4th, wipe. 5th, put pants on. 6th, flush potty. So you can see there's a lot of steps involved in going to the bathroom, which complicates the process. So let's put it in pictures, put it somewhere they can see it when they get into the bathroom, and let's review our tips for potty training. Obviously there's a lot more, but I created a blog post as well, which I'll link below, and you guys can head on over there for some extra bonus tips. But let's review our 3 tips. Our 3 tips today were: tip number 1 was whenever they go, take them right to the bathroom. Tip number 2 was to avoid laying them down, but stand them up or sit them on the potty while you get them cleaned up and changed. And then tip number 3 was to create a schedule because picture schedules and I are best friends. So I hope these tips help. I look forward to talking to you guys soon. This is Hallie Balkin signing off.